Of videos circulating on social media from different renewed hope empowerment events linked to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu showing people receiving envelopes and cash gifts on camera has gone viral on social media. In one video, some voters were seen receiving envelopes before collecting their cards. In another, people were seen opening a huge bag filled with envelopes branded Bola Ahmed Tinubu Cash Empowerment Program. Let's take a look. Dr. Abati, should I say what you said behind the camera? That was not off camera. I mean, Kilo Shele. I mean, these videos are deeply disturbing, Rufai. Your thoughts?
And the impoverishment cycle continues, so they give them this pittance at this point in time. Nothing is done for their welfare. Inflation will probably eat up that money at over 15%, food inflation at very high percentage rates. And you see, what we don't calculate with inflation is cumulative effect of inflation. So inflation in 2024 was about 34%. 2025, it has dropped to about 20%, right? Now it's about 15%, all right? So 34 plus 20 plus 15. That's about 60 something. So cumulative effect of inflation over the years has creamed off the capital. And that's why you see 63% of Nigerians have been plunged into poverty. And you see it is the poverty of the people that the politicians feast on. So when you've plunged people into poverty, a lot of people can barely live on less than $1 per day. You have not created jobs, you have not created mobility, you have not created empowerment for them to be able to get to jobs. And they collect this pittance, they will vote for you in the next election cycle. Then you will take part of the resource, just like we're talking about the 800 billion now, or 700 billion, you take part of the resource and share for them again, and the cycle of poverty and deprivation continues. So when you look at it many years down the line, 20, 30 years, government voted into power has never really achieved anything. They've never achieved social mobility, they've never achieved capital mobility, and they've never achieved real empowerment of the people. And that's how a generation goes and generation dies. 40 years ago, Yinka Winu released a documentary, Squandering of Riches. Today, the Nigeria 40 years ago is way better in most social matrices than the Nigeria we have today.
Yes, I just want to take your quick takes on this video.
Okay, very quickly. This incident, this event that you showed, I thought I saw it on social media.
Yes,
and it said that the person who organized that event.
No, there are different events I put together.
But this particular one
with the,
that I'm seeing,
the Ghana must go by.
The Emilokon uniform.
Yes.
And this envelope that is being shown was an event organized by Senator Wasiu Eshilokun Sani, who is the representative, the senatorial representative from Lagos Central. Before he went to the Senate, he was Deputy Speaker in the Lagos State House of Assembly, and then he succeeded Senator Oluremi Tinubu as the representative from Lagos Central. So they called it empowerment. But the empowerment, what we have seen here is a spectacle of Ghana must go, of the distribution of envelopes, with persons being told that, don't worry, you will all collect. Now, this is why, we made the point about Electoral Offences Commission. And that didn't succeed in the Electoral Act 2026. But even the former INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud, was asking for an electoral offences commission. That whether before the election or after the election or during the election, you are seen to be inducing people with money, that should be criminalized. And then we saw somewhere in that video, they were collecting voters' card from people. Now, why will you collect voters' card? It's the property of the individual who has the right under the Constitution to exercise. So that in itself is an indication of electoral fraud before the event. So I think Senator Wasiu Eshilokun will have to come and explain to us why is the one sponsoring an event where they are distributing money. They are even using an envelope containing the president's picture.
Yes.
And they are saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu Empowerment Program. Where is that money coming from?
Correct.
So it's not only on election day that the authorities should investigate and question the distribution of money. Because what we see here is a weaponization of poverty.
Absolutely.
You are distributing cash and you are saying it's empowerment program. Why is it just going only to people wearing Emiloko attires? Why use money to induce voters? This is why, again, we talk about voter education.
Right.
When you are mobilizing voters, it's not about giving them money and collecting their PVC. The PVC is their personal property. You are even putting a question on their citizenship and their right to choose.
Well said.
So Senator Wasiu Eshilokun also an explanation to let us know.
Imagine walking into a voting booth expecting, like, a marketplace of ideas.
Right.
But then you realize that marketplace has been replaced by literal bags of rice and cash envelopes. Looks at exactly that.
Yeah, we are unpacking a really fiery Arise TV debate between analysts Rufai Oseni and Dr. Abati.
Exactly. Our mission today is to explore this stark collision between democratic responsibility and basic human survival. Specifically, we're looking at the normalization of vote buying in Nigeria.
It is a raw breakdown. I mean, what happens when a citizen has no job, no electricity, and is basically asked to vote with their conscience instead of their stomach?
So to really understand how this works, we have to look at it through the eyes of a struggling voter. You know, you're looking at a family that can't even guarantee their next meal.
Right, let alone pay for skyrocketing electricity bills. And then a political agent just approaches with an envelope containing 10,000 naira.
Which, for an international listener, might barely be a handful of dollars. But in this context,
it is massive. In this specific context, that can represent a week's worth of food for a starving household. I mean, turning that down isn't just a tough moral choice. It literally feels like an active threat to your family's immediate survival.
yeah. But I am really struggling with something here, though. If they take that money to feed their family today, aren't they just guaranteeing they will stay impoverished for the next 4 years?
Well, that is exactly Rufai Oseni's point in the source material. He argues quite aggressively that once you take the money, your right to complain about bad roads or failing hospitals is just gone.
Accountability is dead on arrival.
Exactly. And Dr. Abati builds on that reality by dissecting the politician's playbook. He points out that poverty isn't just, an unfortunate backdrop to these elections.
This is a deliberate strategy.
Yeah, a calculated political strategy. If you keep the electorate desperate, their votes become remarkably cheap. The politicians aren't acting out of sudden generosity here.
So that cash distribution is just an upfront investment.
Precisely. They spend millions at the grassroots, knowing they will recoup billions from the public treasury once they actually secure power.
Wait, hold on. If it is a financial investment, how do they guarantee the return? Voting is supposed to be a secret ballot. How does the politician even know you actually voted for them before handing over that week's worth of food?
The mechanism itself is incredibly brazen. It completely bypasses the secrecy of the ballot. What happens on the ground, and what was highlighted in the debate, is that a voter will mark their ballot behind the screen.
Okay.
But before dropping it into the official box, they slightly tilt or display the paper to a designated party agent standing nearby.
Wow, just right out in the open.
Yeah. The agent confirms the thumbprint is next to their candidate's logo, gives a nod, and then the voter collects their envelope or bank transfer right outside the polling unit.
That is wild. So this is happening in broad daylight. But Nigeria's Electoral Act strictly outlaws this, which brings up the regulators, right? Like INS, the Electoral Commission, and the security forces present.
No, right.
If they're watching voters flash their ballots to party agents, what are they doing? I mean, it feels less like a failed security system and more like a referee who is being paid by the players, watching someone pick up the soccer ball with their hands and just intentionally swallowing the whistle.
That is a perfect analogy. And the debate reaches a deeply uncomfortable climax when analyzing this exact institutional failure. Oseni emphasizes that the guilt is really a shared enterprise here.
How so?
Well, the politician destroys the democratic process by weaponizing stolen wealth. Then the security agencies and regulators destroy it by turning a blind eye.
And the citizen?
Tragically, the citizen helps destroy it with their compliance, even if, that compliance is driven by undeniable hunger.
Yeah, that is a brutal cycle to break. So what does this mean for you, listening to this right now?
Yeah.
It highlights that as long as elections are treated as open-air business transactions, the actual battle on election day isn't between competing political parties.
Right. It is a battle between hunger and conscience.
Exactly. And when immediate human survival is on the line, long-term, genuine change is almost always going to lose out.
It forces us to confront a very uncomfortable reality about governance. I mean, we love to promote the ideals of democratic theory, but those ideals just shatter the moment basic human needs aren't being met.
Which leaves us with a lingering thought for you to chew on today. We started by talking about campaigns as a marketplace of ideas. But if a functioning democratic system inherently relies on citizens being comfortable enough to actually refuse a bribe, can true democracy ever really exist in a society where the voters are starving?